Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to review Brian Tracy, The Psychology of Selling. Now, if you are in sales and you have not heard of Brian Tracy, my God, you gotta get into this guy's books. You have to read his stuff. He is like the OG. He is the GOAT. He's the greatest of all time. When it does come into selling, the stuff that I've learned from this guy and reading through his books, it is just amazing. It is amazing. It's well worth the money, well worth the investment as well. But he has written on time management. He's written on closing. He's written all about the business field, but he mainly started in the point of selling. So let's get right into it. The Psychology of Selling by Brian Tracy, the 3 big takeaways from it. So the inner game of selling. It's important to remember in an industry where you are going to be rejected, that you have to stay positive. Sales, you have to get rejected. You have to have rejections. If you don't, it wouldn't make any sense. If there was no rejections in sales, and everyone would do sales, because everyone would make loads and loads of money. It would it would make no sense. So rejection is a part of selling. So get used to it, right? Stay positive, learn from it. And then he goes into explain that the economy and society itself would stop if it were not for salespeople. Right now, every business on the planet, they rely on salespeople. They need salespeople. They need people to get out there. They need those people to find their customers and sell to them. So at every other level in the business itself, from the COO, the executive, the board, the blah, 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 like every other position, they would not make any money. Even the inventor of the product itself or the service itself would not make money if people were not selling it. So be proud. That's the point of it. Be proud to be someone that is incrementally affecting the economy, right? And you're actually helping more people have a job and keep a job because you're in sales as well. That's amazing. And then the small differences make the big difference as well. So when you go out and you might not you're not going to sell to every single person that you come across, though, as well. But understanding that sometimes it might just be a question or two that the prospect might have that was not answered. Then the next person that prospect ends up seeing, they end up getting the sale just like that. So a great example we gave with the small differences making the big difference. He gave a horse race as an explanation. So if there's 2 horses racing each other, with the jockeys on the back, and they're running and they're going and they're going, and then one horse wins by just a nose. Now, by just a nose in difference, that horse gets 10 times the prize money. But that horse is still not 10 times better than the horse that came in second. It was just by a nose. So even though you're not initially, when you're starting in sales, making a sale or making the sales that you would like to make, it's not because you're so far away from those people that are extremely successful with it, but it could just be that small difference, that nose, the right questions. Maybe you're not closing well. So just to be aware of that. It's not always a big difference. It can be a small difference. And the self-concept of what you should earn, resetting your financial thermostat so you increase your possible earnings. So if you think that your earnings should only be the average income or income you've had for the last 10 years as well. So then when you get that opportunity to go up and above and beyond that, your body freaks out. You do some weird shit to basically keep your income at that level that you're okay with, that you've accepted as well. So really look into that and look through it, think through it, but then put something down on paper to make that difference as well. But that was number 1, the inner game of selling, from the points that was given in the book. All right, so point number 2, getting more appointments. Your approach must break the preoccupation of the prospect, because everyone you call in is busy and thinking of other things. Now, this could be done in so many ways. It could be done verbally when you're talking to that person as well, like how you then introduce yourself to that person too. It could be done physically. A great little story of one of the points that I took away from this as well with breaking their preoccupation. I was at one point working as a personal trainer for Steiner on board the different cruise lines. And what I would have to do is I would have to sign people up for classes and for these complimentary seminars where we then end up selling them a product at the end of the seminar. But of course, because people are on vacation, it's the first day on board, they come around the ship, they walk on through, but you needed to, you're having people all over the cruise ship trying to sell them something. So what I would do to break their preoccupation is sometimes I would do yoga poses in front of the elevators that's next to the gym. I would do walking lunges past the elevators, and it would break the person's preoccupation because they're like, whoa, what is this guy doing? Right? So think outside of that box. Right? Outside of that box, maybe you're working in a business where you have to greet a person in a certain way, but think just how can you make yourself that little bit different to everyone else so that way you're memorable for that person as well. Your opening words must snap them out of whatever they are doing and get their attention. If you can't get their attention, there's no sale that can happen. No attention, no sale. So make sure that you make your opening words just break them out of whatever the hell they're doing like that. Now, of course, let's say the first 15 to 25 words out of your mouth set the tone for the whole conversation as well. So just remember that 15 to 25 words. He recommends writing down your opening statements as well. So this way you can get some ideas of how are you going to state this to the person. All right, but that was number 2, getting more appointments. Then number 3, buyer personality types as well. So there's a lot of conflict with this today when you look at how some people prefer to sell and others don't as well. But looking at these personality types, before I explain each personality type, he mentioned that you should actually even create a different presentation for each of these personality types. So think how far ahead you could be if you had 6 different ways of doing your presentation. That's going to give you an advantage compared to if you only know one way, and then the rest of the time you're guessing, right? Okay, but these personality types. So first, there's the apathetic buyer. This is 5% of people, and they would not buy even if it was for free. You couldn't give them $100 if they paid you $5, right? So no matter what you do with these people, it's 5% of them, they're never going to buy no matter what you would ever do. Now, still, you should go through the process of trying to sell to them, but do realize 5% of people will just never buy. It's a fact. The self-actualizing buyer. This is the other 5%. This is the 5% that everyone hopes to get, because this person knows exactly what he or she wants and how much they're willing to pay for it. They know exactly what benefits and features they want from this product. So they know all of it already. So it's only 5% of them. So you're not going to really come across these people often. When you do, it's amazing because it was like, oh my God, that was so easy. The analytical buyer. Very detail orientated. Oh, this is 25% of people according to Brian Tracy. Very detail orientated. They need material. You need to give them something physical, something to read, something to go through. They're not in a hurry to make a decision. They want to make the right decision based on the information that is out there. So this is where 25% of those people are, and those people are probably going to be the ones that know a little bit more detail about your product. So if you don't know a lot of detail about your product, don't BS to them, because these are the people that would have done some of their research before coming in to even look at possibly buying the product as well. And they'll know part of it know what they're talking about, where they got the resources from, whether it be correct in your opinion or not. You can't tell that person that they are incorrect. Then you have the relator buyer. 25% of people as well, more concerned about how people will feel or how people will react because of the choice that they made as well. So these are the ones where you really want to show testimonials, say that, many people have felt this way before, but when they found out after they started with it and they found out that feel, felt, found, that's another method for another book. I'm sure I'll have to explain that in one of the points when it comes across. But that's the person that, it's more like we are doing it together. right? Those are the kind of words that you want to do. It will be so much better when you have started with this product. I mean, using we relate to them, make them feel comfortable. Then the driver buyer. These ones are one of my favorites to deal with as well. This is 25% of people as well. They are very task orientated. They're directors. And the most important thing for them is getting the results and get to the point quick. No fluff with these people. Don't waste their time. Like, they want to know the results. They want to know the price, and they're very straightforward and to the point. Amazing people to be able to deal with, if you ask me, because they can be one of the easiest people to sell to as well. And then the social buyer, these are outgoing extroverts. They talk a lot. They'll want to know about your friends, your family member. They'll want to know how long you've done the job for. They'll want to know your degree. They'll want to know, have you worked in other places? They'll want to know how long you've lived in the area for. They'll want to know the best restaurant in the area. They'll want to, it will continue. So you want to have something on paper with these people because they talk so much that they might forget part of what you have said like 10 minutes ago as well. And with this point too, you need to be able to really control that conversation. So it's good to be able to put together some questions for these people that will bring them back to what you're talking about as well. So this isn't something you just want to come up with on the spot. You want to pre-plan for this as well. So make sure to write these ones down as well. And be prepared to slip in and out of these different roles, like from these different personality types, because not every person is just going to be one of them. There might be a little bit of a mix of the two. Maybe you think they're one, but then you realize a little bit later on in the sale that they're the other. But that's why he says, write down these 6 different sales presentations and have them reread through them, practice them, role play with them as well, so you're prepared for those different kinds of people. Right? And now that was the review. Brian Tracy, Psychology of Selling. Phenomenal book by a phenomenal author. I hope you liked the book review and my 3 top points. And if you did, make sure to like the video, leave a comment down the bottom if you have another video, if you have a book that you think I should read and review for you as well. And of course, subscribe to the channel so that way you know when when the next book review is up and it's ready for you, you get notified. So you click that little bell icon, and then that way you will get that notification as well. And I'll see you in the next book review.